Hello, everyone. I'm going to. I've had some trouble again. Sorry, Ryan. It's giving me some error messages here, but hopefully we are live somewhere. But I'll need to check the settings once we get going. Welcome, everyone. This is the Rangers Journal pre-match, not reaction, pre-match video to preview the game against Dundee at Dens Park. I'm not too far from Dundee. There's some sunshine through the clouds at the moment, but it's pretty cloudy and pretty rainy, to be honest with you. And the wind is quite high, Ryan. So it's maybe not great conditions for the first half, at least.
Yeah. Probably. Let's not start making excuses already, Billy. Let's get the 90 minutes out of the way. We'll get the excuses in afterwards, right?
Fair enough, and I am back for the post-match afterwards, so yeah, I'll see if these excuses stand up. No, mate, I'm looking forward to the real football being back, looking forward to, I like these kind of later on kickoffs. I know if you go to the stadium, maybe 3 o'clock is better for you, but it's nice. I mean, I'll be taking I'll be heading off to Strathallan Airfield to take a brief 2-hour holiday in the continent somewhere to watch this game, but I'll be straight back for it. So, yeah, we've not had some great, to be honest, we've had a couple of wins, but we've not had some great games at Dens Park in recent times, certainly not in the bad weather, have we?
No, I mean, I think that we spoke last night about the one each game that we had up in January there. Thankfully, though, the team does look significantly different from the team we did play up there in January, but coming to a wee bit of a bogey team for us, Dundee. Is there any news on Cameron? Is Cameron going to be playing? I've not seen their team.
Let me look at. First of all, let's do our teammate, and in the background, I'll see if I can see what their team's going to be. I'm sure it will be announced so far. But so Butland, Tav, Suter, Balogun, Ridvan, Sterling, Raskin, Barron, Diamandi, Igaman, Dessers. I'm thinking that's probably a 4-3-3, Ryan.
No, I'm interpreting it as a 3-5-2. To be honest with you,
okay.
I'm like 3-5-2, 5-3-2 out of possession. I'd imagine Suter and Tav are going to be doing. Sterling and Tav will be doing their kind of wee swap over thing in the right hand side that they did in the previous Old Firm game, which I thought worked absolutely fantastic. Balogun, Suter, and obviously either Sterling or Tav, whatever one's going to be doing that. With Ridvan on the left hand side is the way I'm looking at it.
Right.
Raskin, Barron, Diamandi with Igaman playing just slightly off of Dessers.
No, I like the Igaman just off of Dessers' position. Definitely, when you remember when we earlier on in the season when Clement was struggling for a formation that worked, and he was kind of forced to play Igaman and Danilo, I think it was at the time, or substitute Dessers in, and that's when we started going on a wee bit of run of some decent results. And as soon as he had the option to, he switched back to just having Dessers on his own. So if Igaman is that kind of supporting striker, I'm all for it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that his style of players, he does like to roam about a little bit. He's not a poaching striker. I always like to see my number 9 that stays in between the goalposts and there's a wee bit of a kind of prowler, more than your kind of mould of like McCoist, Boyd, more laterally Cholak, and that kind of striker that, they're purely on the part, their concentration is to score goals, but they play with a partner who's there to do their yards for them. And Igaman does find himself out wide on occasion. He's always keeping the centre half busy and causing problems. He's dipping into the midfield and he's got people looking over his shoulders, but he's creating hope pockets for other people to run into as well. So I'm pleased to see him in the team tonight.
Yeah, me too. As regards to the position of Diamandi, I've felt in recent times he's much better when he's a wee bit further forward. He gets involved, a lot more than when he's asked to do the sitting midfielder. That's not really his position.
No, definitely not. I mean, Clement was doing everything he possibly can and ruined Diamandi, in my opinion. He was never the player we signed was to play there. He was actually, there was rumours of him actually being a striker when he first came in.
Right.
I've got some friends over in Denmark who actually regarded him as being a kind of outside left when we signed him. He was one that was always keen to get into the box and have a strikeout goal. And when you see him sort of sitting as a 6, we tried him as a 10, which didn't really work as well. The best Diamandi you're going to see is actually giving the freedom to express himself and get moved about. And, we see the evidence of that. The goal that he scored at Parkhead, the second goal, a couple of weeks ago. So that's the player I want to see for him.
It's when he gets that. Well, let's just say under Clement, we didn't really have that player that was allowed to have the freedom to be all over the park, did we? It was more you've got these jobs to do. And there's certainly a freedom that's, we've not won every game with Barry, but there's a wee bit more of a freedom to express themselves now that it's not really a handbrake. It's more of the responsibilities have been taken off them a wee bit.
Yeah, definitely. Clement's stubbornness and his lack of willingness to change things when things weren't go well is ultimately why he's not the Rangers manager anymore. It was glaringly obvious that the system that we were using wasn't suited to the personnel that was in the building. This system that we are using does suit the personnel that's in the building, and I've been crying out for this for months, to be honest with you. And even just before Ferguson actually done it, we were on a podcast, and I think I sat for about maybe 45 minutes talking about how we should be doing it and all the kind of pros and cons of doing it. And lo and behold, we went to Istanbul and he's done it. So it was great to see. Long may it continue.
Yeah, looking at the back line, you were suggesting it might be a 3. So I'm guessing that's Tav, Suter and Balogun. Is that, you maybe mentioned that already, mate? Is that what you think?
Yeah, that's the way I'm reading it. The other question maybe were Tav and Sterling might switch over, depending on how they're going. I'd imagine it's who's going to look after Simon Murray. Is my one. Excuse me, I'll get a bit of a cold. Who's going to be looking after Simon Murray? We were calling him CM9 last night because he seems to turn into full Ronaldo when he plays against us. So we'll see how he gets on. But as long as we can deal with him, he's their main goal threat. Doug's confirmed in the comments that there's no Cameron in our squad at all today.
Yeah. I was just going to pull that up in a second, mate. So keep talking.
Yeah, so that's going to be a massive blow to them. They're coming off the back of a decent result in their derby as well. They obviously got a decent win at Tannadice, and they look pretty dangerous. So it'll be interesting to see how they line up. Do they come out and have a go at us, or do they do the usual low block against us and try and frustrate us? So we could be in for a cracking game. I hope it is a good game. I hope we do actually come out and have a go and play against us, because there's nothing worse than it, especially if it's live in TV when we're actually trying to promote Scottish football and ask for more revenue from the TV money. And you actually got to present something half decent on the screen if you're wanting the big bucks to come from them.
I have pulled that up. I'm going to go to it now. So yeah, as you say, no Cameron, but Murray, and yeah, as you say, or as we were talking about last night, likes to turn up against us. That's for sure. Anybody else in that team? I mean, I would say you were talking about you hope to come out and have a go. I would say recent form against us, bar Celtic, that's been the play to come out and actually give us a game rather than sit in. It's worked for at Ibrox. It's worked for a few teams. So is that what you expect with that lineup? To be honest, mate, I'm a Rangers fan first and foremost. Unless as a player with the rest out with Celtic, I'm not that aware of them unless they're kind of setting the header on fire. So I don't know a lot about these players, but they've given us a game over the. I mean, me and Scotty were up at the kind of game that lost the season last year with the 0-0 game, and they just made it that we never looked like we were going to score, and it was the same with that the 1-1 game as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a lack of ideas and a lack of options. To be honest, they're a half decent team to defend. Bill Shaughnessy, the captain there, he's been around the block. He can defend quite well from. I think the boy McGee might have been the one that refused to celebrate when he scored against his former club earlier on the season as well. So we know who he supports. Boy Tiffany is pretty decent as well. He's had a few clubs as well. He's got a wee bit of a goal in him as well. The other names, to be honest, I don't recognise. It's like you said, I watch Rangers first and foremost every single week, and if I've got time, I'll check in these other clubs. But the only time I've ever really seen is when I come to Ibrox. So there's nothing really that stands out for me. I'm glad, obviously, from a Rangers perspective, tonight's match and the result that's ahead of us, I'm glad that Cameron isn't playing. I think he's probably the most dangerous player. They've obviously lost McCowan earlier on in the season as well, who was pretty much the other talisman as well. So, we've just got to go out and beat what's in front of us tonight. And Barry'sfield are a strong team as well. We're talking last night in the pod about the possibility of resting players and thinking about what's ahead of us and coming up for the Bilbao game. Do we actually still, compete here? Do we want to have a wee eye on that? But he's fielded, obviously, with the exception of Tierney, our strongest team.
Now, I'm picking up on it. Was it not Donnelly that didn't celebrate against Celtic? Am I right? Is that the wrong player I'm thinking of, mate?
Possibly. It was the young boy that plays centre defence for him.
Yep.
He never made a first team appearance, but felt the need not to celebrate a goal that he scored, which was.
I was led to believe he had no connection with them, but maybe you're right, mate. It's a strange one.
Aye, it came through the youth. He's very, very similar probably to a Reece Breen that left to Dunfermline, who came through the Rangers ranks but never actually made a first team appearance.
Well, I don't care, to be honest with you, but you know that his allegiances are lying with, and these they've given us a game recently that I'm not sitting here going, "Oh, that's their cup final." They've actually handled the recent games up there fairly well, so it'd be unfair to say that they're going to just put everything against us. They give us a good game all the time, but
aye. Well, something for them tonight. St Johnstone, I believe, have lost to Hibs. Hibs were, I think, 3-0 up last time I seen it. So St Johnstone are bottom of the league. Dundee are 5 points clear of them. So they've got an opportunity to go 8 points clear here. I'm not too sure what's happening above them, but they were currently at the start of today sitting in the playoff places. So it'll be interesting to actually see where they're going. They've actually got a chance to leapfrog Kilmarnock here, and Kilmarnock have actually taken a heavy defeat at St Mirren as well. So that's going to help with the goal difference. So Dundee have got something to play for here. They can actually dunt themselves up the league and get themselves out of a wee bit of trouble here. So they'll be right up for this.
I sometimes listen to Heart and Hands preview show, and they've got a habit of making every single team sound like Real Madrid or Barcelona. And I guess this week was no different. But, we should be wary of Dundee, but not to a degree that, healthy respect is what I'm meaning, rather than being particularly worried about going to Dens Park. That should be a routine. This season's not really been routine in any kind of manner, but it should be a routine victory. And we shouldn't be, okay, they've got one or two players that can cause us trouble, but there shouldn't be any surprises with, to expect up there. What do you think?
Well, probably the thing you've got to reference is the golf and the budget that we've got to spend in comparison to them. But there's not so many instances that we've seen recently where teams have beaten no other teams with budget. So you've got to be respectful of what's in front of you. They're professional footballers at the end of the day. And it's 11v11, and the hard work can beat the talent, and the talent doesn't work hard. So we've got to just take care of ourselves and make sure we go out and get an early goal. That would be nice to see. Pick up from where we left off in the last game. Keep the momentum up. Let's get the game done. 2-3-0 up, whatever it is. And let's use the guys that are on the bench as well, because we've got a lot of important football ahead of us.
We need to get some, maybe that mantra put behind you for the pod, mate, because you say it most weeks now, because quite often we haven't, certainly in the recent times, we haven't worked hard enough to justify, the games we've lost this season or drawn. None of us really could complain. We just didn't perform very well, and that needs to change. And I think the attitude has changed. I mean, coming back at Kilmarnock, okay, we get beat the following game, but it shows a bit of character that maybe wouldn't have been there with Clermont. So Barry's installing that to a degree, and obviously the Old Firm win. Let me bring the team back up again. You may have already mentioned it when you're kind of doing this and looking through all the different things. Maybe you miss what the other person says sometimes, so apologies if you had. But no Czerny on the bench or starting. You think that's a keeping him for next week, or even keeping him? I know it's maybe a week and a half away, but the Bilbao game, wrapping him in cotton wool.
Well, Barry had mentioned that one player had come back from international duty and had taken a knock and didn't train. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. He hadn't trained, and he said that he was going to come in the next day and he was going to be assessed by the physio. The doctor looked at again, and if he didn't train, he wouldn't be in the team. It doesn't give the name away. Michael Beale would have gave the name away straight away. He loved to tell the press absolutely everything until he basically told the other team who he was picking before the game was even started. So, where the team lines were even out, sorry. So he was the one that was, I'm assuming, was the one that there's only probably Ross McCausland's the other one that was away in international duty apart from Czerny. So I dare say he was talking about him.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm looking forward to Raskin coming back, and hopefully a big performance to he's had a great week in his international duty, getting a standing ovation as it when he came off for his first start for Belgium, playing alongside like Kevin De Bruyne, great players like him. He'll be on cloud nine. I'm hoping that he brings this kind of attitude into this game as well, because this is where we need it to continue. He needs to build on this. He talked about, I want to play for Chelsea one day. Well, he's only going to get it if he continues to play well for us.
Yeah, so Ferguson asked again in his press conference about Raskin, and he said that there's still things he needs to work on. If he wants to play at that level, and he can play at that level, there's potential there that he could go up to the very highest level. If he wants to go and play in one of the top 5 leagues, the potential's absolutely there. But there's still stuff that he does need to work on. So I dare say that Ferguson's probably brought him down to earth, hopefully, and not in a bad way of denting his confidence, stuff like that, but obviously just reminding him that he is still a Rangers player and he still has a job to do for us.
That's it. Well, mate, I've done 15 minutes just to kind of preview the game. I guess we'll go over I hate scoreline predictions. It doesn't mean anything. But what do you think the outcome's going to be in about 2 hours' time?
Well, I predicted 2-0 last night. I think I'll stick with it.
2-0, fair enough. You got goal scorers in there?
Dessers probably will get one, I'd imagine. You'll be there. Eagleman for the other. Dessers and Eagleman will goal each 2-0.
I agree with the score, but I just think Raskin will have something about him today, and he might sneak with another one, whether it's another header from a corner. You know, he scored a couple of headers this season. You know, it's probably one of the smallest men. Maybe Redvan's a wee bit smaller. That would be impressive if Redvan could score for a corner.
Listen, if I was the opposition manager, I would be getting absolutely off my nut. If a guy of that size was scoring headers from corners against my team, I'd be flaking, to be honest with you.
I'm no football legend or anything, but when I did play amateur football, I remember marking this guy, and I'm not a defender, but the guy hadn't turned up. Our main striker hadn't turned up, so they shoved me up front just to kind of keep me out of the way. And this guy must have been 5'2", and he won everything. He just knew how to jump. So it's not always necessarily to do with the height. It's the technique and everything behind it as well. So I'll say that that's the same with Raskin, and hopefully the same with Redvan. They've just got the technique that can get up there and get above a 6'5" typical Dundee defender.
Yeah, well, Stevie Naismith, obviously a controversial figure now in the Rangers charters, but Stevie Naismith, when he played for us, always had a fantastic leap, and it was about timing as well as obviously the amount there. So it can be done. It can be done, but you've got some big tall guys sitting there. I think the boy Shaughnessy, I think he's up about 6'3", 6'4". He's a monster, yeah, boy. So just got to be fine. I'm not worried about this. He's picked a strong enough team. There's nothing controversial. You've not got a Danilo starting or a Cortes starting, Hadji, Bajrami, anything like that. He's picked the right team for me. So looking forward to it. Cool
stuff, mate. Well, thanks for joining me. Enjoy the game, and I'll be back with other Billy, I believe, for the post match, and hopefully we've got as Ryan, as you're saying, an entertaining game as well as a victory for us. That's what we kind of really want as football fans. It's nice to win, but it's good to enjoy a game of football as well, isn't it?
A wee bit of entertainment for a Saturday night. You know, last time we won, because I dare say there'll be quite a few guys that probably had to apply for a wee pass with the other half to make sure we can watch this, because 5:30 on a Saturday can be sometimes a wee bit awkward to get past your family. So hopefully the boys put out there and they're not going to get a wee bit of heat for asking to eat at any family time to watch the football.
Good stuff, mate. Well, I'm off to Argyll for a couple of hours, but I'll be back shortly. Enjoy the game, everyone, and I'll see you soon.